Yeah. Anybody wants to read this Japa code? Mataji's, Prabhuji's? Nectar of Holy Name.
I'll read it, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please.
The nectar of holy name. Attachment for glorifying the Lord by hearing and chanting the holy name and activities of the Lord, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, brings one to the position where material contamination is absent. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.18 purport.
Hari Bol Mataji. So anybody remember the sloka of Prahlad Maharaj says that it starts with Shravanam Kirtanam. Anybody remember that verse?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam,
Yeah.
Padasevanam, Vandanam.
Yeah, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Padasevanam. Yeah, that's the thing. Krishna consciousness definition is everything is there in that verse. Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. Complete surrender. So Prabhupada says, in out of these 9 devotional processes, it starts with Shravanam, by hearing. Like, if any person in material world also, this person is a very rich person, we hear that, oh, this person is rich. Then we think that person. Similarly, it starts with hearing, right? Hearing and chanting. It starts with Shravanam and Kirtanam. So Vedas also is a Shabda Pramana, right? Vedas also just like our mother. Who is your father? Who will say? Our mother says that. So he is your father. So Vedas are like that. Shabda Pramana. That means through reception, through the hearing reception, we have to understand Krishna. We will understand Krishna. We will know Krishna. Yeah, through the hearing, right? Yeah. So that's it's a proper purpose. All the nectar of holy name is these slides come up with one of the devotee from Punjabi Bagh. He will send every day. I capture from him, and this every day before starting Japa call, I put this for inspiration to chant the holy names of the Lord. All purports are clear definitions. How to chant, how to worship, everything is there in these purports. All are teachings. Yeah, without delay, thank you so much again, Prabhuji Sanmatari, Mangalachandra. Let us begin with our reading. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Paristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karati vachalam pangam langayate girim yatkripātam hamundē Shri Gurum Dīnatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Pavitra Pavitra Va Sarvavastam Gato Viva Yasmaret Pandarikaksham Sabhyabhyantaram Suchi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Today we will read the 5th chapter of first canto translations, and then whatever time permits we'll go through the Subodhini book. Second, let me share.
Wish you happy Krishna conscious wedding anniversary, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Krishna conscious lo untre best. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. We'll talk about. Thank you for your wishes. Thank you all of you for the wishes. Thank you so much. So this is from chapter 5. We have done reading with the translation purpose since last few weeks. So today we'll read with translations and go through with the Subodhini book and understand some points from that book. So chapter 5 of first canto, canto 1, creation, chapter 5. Narada instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. Let us read, there are 40 verses. How many of us? 8. Yeah, 5 verses we can complete. Let me start. Next one. Sudha Goswami said, thus the sage among us the gods, Narada, comfortably seated and apparently smiling, addressed the rishis among the Brahmanas, Vedavyasa. Addressing Vyasadeva, the son of Parashara, Narada inquired, "Are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as objects of self-realization? Your inquiries were full and your studies were also well fulfilled, and there is no doubt that you have prepared a great and wonderful work, the Mahabharata, which is full of all kinds of Vedic sequences elaborately explained." So Narada Muni is saying, these are the, you have fully delineated the subject of impersonal Brahman as well as the knowledge derived therefrom. Why should you be despondent in spite of all this, thinking that you are undone, my dear Prabhu? Sri Vasudeva said, "All you have said about me is perfectly correct. Despite all this, I am not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. For you are a man of unlimited knowledge, due to your being the offspring of one, Brahma, who is self born, without mundane father and mother." Yeah. Yeah. Mother is, yeah, Deepa Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. My Lord, everything that is mysterious is known to you because you worship the creator and destroyer of the material world and the maintainer of the spiritual world, the original personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. Like the sun, your goodness can travel everywhere in the three worlds, and like the air, you can penetrate the internal region of everyone. As such, you are as good as the all-pervasive supersoul. Please therefore find out the deficiency in me, despite my being absorbed in transcendence under disciplinary regulations and vows. Sri Narada said, "You have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. Although great sage, you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with religious performances. You have not described the glories of the Supreme Personality Vasudeva. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Samyukta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Text 11. On the other hand, the literature, which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? O Vyasadeva, your vision is completely perfect, your good fame is spotless, you are firm in woe and situated in truthfulness, and thus you can think of the pastimes of the Lord in trance for the liberation of the people in general from all material bondage. Whatever you desire to describe that is separate in vision from the Lord simply reacts with different forms, names, and results to agitate the mind as the wind agitates a boat which has no resting place. The people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable because they are guided under your instructions. They will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, Sandhya Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Text
Hare
16.
Krishna.
The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through the descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. One who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage, yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end, which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, down to the lowest planet, Patala. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries even though we did not desire them. My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruity workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. The Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is himself and this cosmos, and still he is aloof from it. From him only has this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I have given only a synopsis. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you. Praveen Prabhu, Aryan Prabhu.
Your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the super soul personality of Godhead because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please therefore describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality Godhead, Krishna, more vividly. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of the hymns and charities, and culminates in the transcendental description of the Lord, whose defined in choice poetry. O Muni, in the last millennium, I was born as the son of a certain maidservant engaged in the service of Brahmanas, who were following the principles of Vedanta. When they were living together during the 4 months of the rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. Although they were impartial by nature, those followers of the Vedanta blessed me with their causeless mercy. As far as I was concerned, I was self-controlled and had no attachment for sports, even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not naughty and I did not speak more than required. Once only by their permission I took the remnants of the food, and by so doing all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus being engaged, I became purified in heart, and at that time the very nature of the transcendentalist became attracted to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Praveen Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
O Vyasdeva, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantists, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna. And thus, listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of God had increased at every step. O great says, as soon as I got a taste of the personality of Godhead, my attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings. For both the Lord and I are transcendental. Thus, during 2 seasons, the rainy seasons and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear these great souled sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of the Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the covering of the modes of passion and ignorance vanished. I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated. In their service, in my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had subjugated the senses. I was strictly following them with body and mind. As they were leaving, those Vedantas who are very kind to poor-hearted souls instructed me in the most confidential subject, which is instructed by the personality of God and himself. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Lovish Prabhu.
By that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly the influence of the energy of Lord Sri Krishna, the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. By knowing that, one can return to him and personally meet him. O Brahman, Vyasa, Yasdeva, it is decided by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is to dedicate one's activities to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. O good soul, does not a thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by that very same thing? Thus, when all men's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which cause this perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga or transcendental loving service of the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Akinchan Priya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Text 36. While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his names, and his qualities. Let us all chant all the glories of the Vasudeva along with his plenary expansions, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarsana. Thus, he is actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who has no material form. O Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was adored first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential parts of the Vedas, and then with the spiritual appearances, and then with his intimate loving services. Please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of Vedas. For that will satisfy the anchorings of great learned men and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of the common people who are always suffering from the material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much. So Raju Prabhu, మీరు ఈ బుక్ చదువుదాం. ఇది మన సుబోధిని. Let me share. Thank you for scanning and sending, Prabhuji. Thank you for the service. Okay, thank you so much. So we anyway here start with this one. We directly start from here.
Okay.
So 105 in other instructions. 104. Yeah, response 1 to 7. Yeah, this is more clearly explained. Yes. 1 to 4 now. Yeah, you can read Prabhu.
1 to 4. Narada inquires about the Vyasadeva's despondency.
1 to 4 means, sorry to interrupt Prabhu. 1 to 4 means from first verse to fourth verse.
Yeah.
In a context. What exactly in those 4 verses? Yeah, please go.
Thus, Devarshi Narada, being comfortably seated, addressed Vyasadeva smilingly, knowing the cause of the Vyasadeva's despondency. Are you satisfied by identify the body and the mind to be the self? So note this was a hint by Narada regarding the cause of Vyasadeva's despondency. Your despondency certainly is not due to lack of knowledge. Your work, your inquiries and studies were complete. He wrote the most wonderful Mahabharata elaborately explaining all Vedic instructions. Now, this despondency is due to lack of realized knowledge. Why despondent? You have fully deliberated and realized the subject of impersonal Brahman. Why should you disappointed in spite of all this? Note, not only were Vyasadeva's inquiries about Brahman. Sorry, Brahman, Jignasism. What is it? Jignasism complete. But he also has understood and realized Haditam, that Brahman. He compiled the Vedanta Sutra, the most exalted philosophical exposition containing the conclusions about eternal Brahman. Hare Krishna.
Conclusions about the eternal Brahman. You read this one also, small one. Yeah.
Okay. 5 to 7. Text 5 to 7. Vyasadeva request Narada to find his deficiency. So fifth one, you are correct. Therefore, I ask you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. Despite all my qualification, for you are a man of unlimited knowledge. Agada Bodham, being the son of Brahma. You know everything mysterious. Veda Amata, Veda Amasta Guhyam. Since you worship the Lord, who is first one, the original person, Purana Purusha. Then second, control of material world and spiritual words. Paravaresh, Paravaresaha, Paravaresh. Third one, unattached to modes. Gunair, Asangaha. Seventh, all passive. Parvasive, all pervasive.
All pervasive, yes.
All pervasive. Like the sun, you travel everywhere, everywhere, and like the hair, you penetrate the internal region of everyone. You like the all pervasive, all pervasive super soul and witness Atma Shakshi. Therefore, please find the deficiency in me. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Vyasadeva requests Narada. These are the 3 verses, right? I wanted to know why I am getting this deficiency, despondency, why I am not getting satisfaction, even though I am compiled all this Vedanta, Vedic literature, 4 Vedas. Everything he has written, but still incomplete. Something is missing. Mahabharata also has compiled everything, but still the dissatisfaction is there. There's a purpose. That's why he got dissatisfaction, because we have to. He has to glorify Supreme Lord. That is missing. Of course, he has written all the Vedas, everything, and it's under those 4 Dharmartha Kama Moksha. But it is not elevating to the ultimate goal. That is the love of God, Supreme Personality of God. Right, so the devotional service is not there, so that will come in this next. So Narada describes. Who is going to read? Anybody, please raise, or you can start. So from here, 8 to 22 verses, Narada describes the importance of glorifying Lord Krishna. From here onwards, again, so he requested, why I am getting this deficiency, despondency, dissatisfaction. So Narada is answering. Narada is giving clarification. Yes, you have given everything, but something is missing, or something is glorifying Lord Krishna. So please read, everybody.
Should I read that?
Yeah, please.
8 to 22, Narada describes the importance of glorifying Lord Krishna. 8 to 9, Narada's diagnosis detects 2 defects. Insufficient glorification of the Lord. You have not sufficiently described the Lord's spotless glories. Yasho Bhagavato Malam. Philosophy that does not satisfy the Lord's senses is worthless. Manyeta Darshanam Khilam. If the mind of the writer of Vedanta Darshana is dissatisfied, how will those who continually study it be satisfied? Vyasdeva is the proof that it is insufficient. Vyasdeva might say, but I have described the Lord's qualities in the Padma Purana and others. Overemphasis on 4 Purusharthas. You have not repeatedly glorified the Supreme Lord to the extent you have described Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Even poetic works should be condemned if they are devoid of the Lord's glories. 2 categories of literature. Materialistic literatures devoid of the Lord's glories that alone can sanctify the whole universe are considered to be like pilgrimage places for crows. Saintly persons derive no pleasure from them. Nayat vachas chitra padam harer yasho jagat pavitram pragranita karhichit tadvayasam tirtham ushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti ushikshaya. Transcendental literatures that fully glorify the Lord are of different creation and can create a revolution in the impious lives of a misdirected civilization. Even though imperfectly composed, they are heard, sung, and accepted by saintly people. Tadvag visargo janatagha viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadhavati api Namani anantasya yasho nikitani yat shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. Not only are the words important, if there is no bhakti, the work is also useless. Even scriptures and the realizations they evoke are condemned if devoid of bhakti. Bhakti is the only valuable asset. Jnana and karma without bhakti are fruitless. Knowledge of self-realization, though free from material affinity, does not look well if devoid of bhakti. What to speak of temporary fruitive activities that are painful from the very beginning if their results are not offered to the Lord? नैष्कर्म्यम् अपि अच्युत भाववर्जितं न शोभते ज्ञानम् अलं विराञ्जनं कुतः पुनः शश्वद् अभद्रमीश्वरे न चार्पितं कर्म यद् अपि अकारणम्.
So this verse only he is explaining, and this is the verse from Bhagavatam. He is quoting from 12 to 16. Bhakti is the only valuable asset. Yes, please go ahead.
Vyasadeva's qualifications as a transcendental author. You are fortunate, Mahabhaga, with perfect vision, Amoghadrik, spotless fame, Shuchishrava, truthfulness, Satyarato, and firm vows, Dhritavrita. Thus, you can think of the Lord's pastimes in trance. For the liberation and everyone, Akhila Bandha Muktaye. Descriptions disconnected from the Lord are insubstantial. Whatever is described with a vision separate from the Lord, Prithak Drisha, simply reacts with different forms and names, Devatas, to agitate the mind like a boat attacked by wind. Vyasadeva has described various paths such demigod worship, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti. This confuses the people in general. Narada pointed out this defect and emphasized the importance of describing everything in relation to the Lord alone. Vyasadeva might say, I have presented material happiness in order to promote scriptures amongst the materialistic persons who do not want bhakti. You have encouraged the natural enjoying tendency of the people by your instructions. Thus, they will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. This is verily condemned. Jugupshitam. Describe the Lord's activities. Only an expert, Vichakshana, retired from material activities, Nivrittita Sukham, deserves to understand spiritual knowledge. Therefore, you should explain it to the common people through your descriptions of the Supreme Lord's activities. Do you want to give to somebody else, Babuji, or
Yeah,
should I?
yeah. If anybody wants to read, Mataji's, Babuji's.
I'll read Prabhuji.
Yeah, please read.
3 types of bhakti are illustrated in the following verses. Kevala Bhakti, pure bhakti in 1.5.17 and 1.5.23, practiced by a person who is Nishkama, also called as Ananya Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, Nirguna Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti, and Akinchana Bhakti, gives prema as a result. Pradhanya Bhakti, mixed bhakti with bhakti being predominant in 1.5.36, classified as Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, and Yoga Mishra Bhakti, practiced by those who are Santa, produces Rati, Bhava, and liberation for some. If they get the association of a devotees in different bhavas like Dasya, they will achieve prema in those bhavas, which a prominence of reverential Aishwarya mood. Guna Bhava Bhakti, mixed bhakti with bhakti being secondary or Tatastha in 1.5.35. Bhakti does not reveal its own results and name. It is only an assistant of karma, jnana, and yoga, which cannot produce results without bhakti's presence. Bhakti Mishra Karma, Bhakti Mishra Jnana, and Bhakti Mishra Yoga produce liberation. In this scripture, only Kevala and Pradhani Bhuta Bhaktis are accepted.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Mataji. You can read. You can read next.
Okay.
70. Yeah.
17. No loss even in fall down. If a person gives up his occupational duties and engages in bhakti, even if he happens to fall down in an immature stage, there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though perfect in executing his dharma, does not gain everything. त्यक्त्वा धर्मं चरणाम्बुजां हरेर् भजन् आपापो तपते ततो यदि यत्र क्व वभद्राम् अबुद् अमुष्य किं को वर्त आप्तो भजतां स्वधर्मतः. Better to endeavor for the rarest. Intelligent people should endeavor only for that which is not obtainable even by wandering from Brahmaloka down to Patala. Sense enjoyment can be obtained automatically in course of time. Just as in course of time, we obtain miseries without desiring. Tasyaiva hito prayateta kovido na labhyate yat brahmatam upari adaha. ताल लभ्यते दुःखवद् अन्यतः सुखं कलेन सर्वत्र गभीर रमहसा. Results
You
of
can read
bhakti.
this. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu.
You read that.
Results of bhakti are permanent. Even if a devotee falls down, he does not undergo material existence like others, because one who has once relished the taste of Lord Mukunda's lotus feet will remember that ecstasy again and again. Navai jano jatu kadanchana vrajam vrajain mukunda sevi anyavat angas samshritam smaran mukundangri upagunam punar vihatum ichenna rasagraho jana. Thank you.
In all these verses, it's saying bhakti is the essence. Bhakti is the permanent. And it's better to endeavor for the rarest. It's a rare opportunity to practice devotion service. No loss even in fall down. Right? In Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, in this endeavor, there is no loss and diminution. Neha vikravana shusti pratyavana vidya swalpam apyasa dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. So progress in bhakti is credited forever. Forever means it carries throughout until we reach Krishna, until we go back to God. It is just like, after we leave this body, as soul along with mind, subtle body travels to another body. The bhakti also carries eternally. Bhakti is an eternal bank balance. That's why we call it's an eternal bank balance. Whatever we are spending time in Krishna conscious activities, we are filling eternal bank account, and it is never lost. That's why it's created forever. That's the beauty of bhakti. All other sense gratification activities, material activities, it's an end. There is an end, and it's a temporary. It creates some bad reactions, good reactions, whatever deeds we did. Can we read there? Otherwise, we can see, what is it? Yeah, we'll read up to this point, and then maybe Monday we'll read from this one. So, anybody wants to read this section, 20 to 22 verses?
I'll read.
Yeah, please.
20 to 22. Narada instructs Vyasadeva. Expand the synopsis. The Lord is himself the universe, and yet he is aloof from it, since he creates, maintains, and destroys it. You know all this. I have given only a synopsis of bhakti, and the knowledge of the Lord's power you expand it. Describe the Lord's pastimes more vividly, since you have perfect vision, amogha drik, know the Lord being his plenary portion and appeared for the well-being of all people. Conclusion of the learned circles. The infallible purpose of everyone's austerity, Vedic study, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, knowledge, and charity culminates in glorifying the qualities of the Lord. Idam hi pamsas tapsaha shrutyasa va sutasya sukhatasya cha buddhi datayo avicyota rata kavibhir nirupito yad uttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. The only
Yeah.
cause of pure bhakti is the mercy of devotees, not austerity or the processes. To illustrate this, Narada narrates his previous birth. Hare Krishna.
Very, very wonderful point. Wonderful point. So we are practicing bhakti means somebody prayed for us. Some devotee prayed for us. It's mercy of devotees, not austerity or any other processes that we practice pure devotional service. It's a wonderful statement from Narada Muni. So he's explaining how he got association from Bhakti Vedantas, in the next chapters, in these verses. So here everything is there. Narada is giving instructions. In order to address your despondency, dissatisfaction, you have to glorify the Supreme Lord. And that Supreme Lord is this one. Conclusion of the learned circles. The infallible purpose of everyone's austerity, Vedic study, sacrifice, chanting hymns, knowledge and charity culminates in glorifying the qualities of the Supreme Lord. That is the verse. Idam hi pumsas tapas shrutasya va sristasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo avichorda kavibhir nirupito yad uttama sloka gunanu varnana. Uttama sloka is Krishna, glorifying Supreme Lord. Right? So that's what the simple statement from this 5th chapter is. He got despondency, even though he has written all these literatures, even though 18 Puranas, that's where this one comes here, Padma Purana also. But still he got despondency and dissatisfaction. He has written all four Vedas, 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads, everything he has written, but still something is missing. So that's where Narada helped him, because Narada is a spiritual master. So he approached him and he got to know that, oh, my disciple, Guru knows my disciple is having some difficulty. So he appeared and helping Vyasdeva. And now moving forward, now he is glorifying all the wonderful pastimes of Krishna in the Bhagavatam, right? Various kings, Prahlad Maharaj pastimes, Dhruva Maharaj pastimes, Kunti Devi pastimes. Everything conclusion is glorifying Supreme Lord. If you take any part of Srimad Bhagavatam, this devotee's life, devotee's pastimes, addressing, glorifying Lord. Of course, different difficulties, different pastimes there. Ultimately, to realize that is the ultimate goal is practicing devotional service and go back home, back to God. That is the goal. So let us read remaining part. Anybody wants to add anything for this? Any realizations?
Ji, so here mentioned, right? See, someone is praying for us,
Yes.
right? Then we progress in bhakti. So it means someone, or when we associate in the association, right?
Sorry, Bolo. Yes, Prabhu. Sir.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm
Somebody is
saying,
prayed. Yes.
yes. But what does it mean that someone is by taking names, or the association, when we join that association, that will help? How it works?
Yes, how it works. If you are coming in contact with devotees means someone we never know who is that someone.
Yeah, that's why, Prabhuji.
You want to know that? Of course, I mean, we have different gurus. Pata Prataksha Guru, Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru is there. But before coming to this process, of course, we have some good deeds in past life. We discontinued, we stopped in that life, and we have got an opportunity. But the something part is the devotee's mercy. Inconceivable. We cannot, who is that person?
Yeah.
So who is that person? But that's a thing, Prabhu.
I think if we in association, Prabhuji, I think that could be, because when we are sitting all together, listening, hearing.
Yes. Yeah, that's where Krishna arranged, right? Krishna sent devotees. See, how can I say this one? Somebody's mercy, some devotees, some pure devotees' mercy. I heard from the Yugal Kishore Prabhu, my Siksha Guru. See, there, who prayed, we never know, Prabhu. We cannot see. I mean, somehow, see, if we look at our lives, right, we have different paths and different understandings or different way of life before coming to Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that moment, like, I don't know, in my company, somehow I attended the sessions. But there are so many attended in that session, but out of so many, only few are still there, because that mercy, the interest, maybe in previous life we didn't continue, but in previous life, that particular pure devotee prayed, and we got that interest. See, not everybody practicing this devotion service. It's only devotees' mercy. That's why we call it your mercy, your mercy. So devotees' mercy are so much powerful. We may fall down at any point of time. That's where we always pray this one, right? So vancha kalpatarubhyascha, please pray for me, please pray for me. So of course it's devotees' mercy only, Prabhu. Who cannot see, it's a divine intervention, it's divine intervention that we got come in contact with devotees and practicing devotion service. It's their mercy. And here in this last line, if you look at this last line, it's Bhaktivedanta's mercy. Narada Muni got in previous life, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So you can see the point here. Lastly, what he's saying.
22.
Yeah. The only cause of pure bhakti is the mercy of devotees, not by performing austerity or any other process. So now from this onwards, Narada Muni explaining how he got connected with the Bhaktivedanta, how he get attracted. So they may pray Prabhu, right? We
Yes,
never
Prabhu.
know how it works. I mean,
Yes,
this is
Prabhuji.
the inconceivable potency of the Lord, but that's the understanding. Prabhu. It's their mercy.
Correct, Prabhuji. So if we are in association, definitely, yes, we'll get that mercy of the devotees. We are serving them and we are just helping them. So that is also mercy, Prabhuji, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Anybody wants to add? Mata Deepa Mataji, Loish Prabhu, Akinchan Priya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanapana.
Yeah, Loish. Yeah, Dhanapana Prabhu.
Prabhuji, yesterday night, me and my wife were walking in our society. So we were remembering almost 8 years ago, we were staying in a small house and we were not practicing that much. We just started chanting and little bit follow. And there are few, and in that house now, there were few senior people came, devotees came, like Baldev Prabhu, Narari Prabhu, and from Malaysia, one devotee came. So many devotees keep on coming. So we will keep on serving them, but we are not following. So she was remembering that because those devotees keep coming and they saw our pathetic situation. So might be they only prayed. That's why we are able to do little bit right now. So we were remembering this yesterday. So just now we discussed it.
Yes, Prabhu.
So only when we serve devotees and when they bless us, only then we can progress. That is the only way which we understand till that.
Or Prabhuji,
So
like
that's why we should always be in association.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhuji, like that we are going for any service in the temple, right? So many devotees are there, they are giving service to us. So we are serving only Prabhupada only, but we are serving to that person who is having that service. So it could be in that way.
Serving?
See, Prabhuji, let us in Janmashtami festival, right? There are so many services. Okay, so there are 6 people, they have given one service. Like you have that book distribution, you have that to capture the name of the devotees, to engage, and you have to give the prasadam, right? So we are serving that devotee. We are serving all other people. They are just following his instructions. So he is serving to Prabhupada. So like this one, we are serving in that service. That will also help us. That is also prayer only. They are also praying for us.
Yeah. They are giving service means what happens? They are engaging in you in Krishna's service.
Service, yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
So yeah, their mercy. See,
their mercy.
I am serving here. It's their mercy. Yes, I am serving here. I am trying to read. I am trying to read with all of you, and see, it's an instruction, right? Prabhupada instructions. Whatever you learn, try to help others. Try to preach and what you heard and what you realized. That way, some may get benefited. Some may get firm faith in devotion service. They practice nicely. It's we are always become instrumental in somebody's life. When we preach and distribute this knowledge, see how we come into contact in Krishna consciousness. If we see that, right? Somebody, an instrument, the somebody is the mercy, somebody in the form of devotees, somebody in the form of books, that somebody in the form of um, books and somebody in the form of books, somebody in the form of helping, right? So that way, that somebody is a pure devotee.
Yes,
He's
Prabhuji.
practicing devotional service and he wants to give, he wants to help others. That's where the para dukkha dukhi concept is there, right? Para dukkha dukhi.
Yes. Prabhuji, sometime like Radheshyam Prabhu comes, the exalted devotee comes, right? When we meet with them, oh, sometimes we do something, right? Oh, very nice. You're doing very good. Continue. Krishna will help you.
That is a
That
mercy.
is also mercy, right?
That's mercy. That's a
Yes.
clear
Yes, Prabhuji.
indication of mercy. Yes, you are doing good. Good. Continue. It's encouraging and he, in his mind praying also. Right?
Correct,
Nice.
Prabhuji. Correct. So that's why we are saying, if any exalted devotee comes, please serve them.
Yeah. So that's see, whenever we create Vaishnava exalted personalities, when they say good things means they internally pray for us. So we get the firm conviction, faith, and get so much strength with their, saying these encouraging words and these things, because they are practicing since many years. They realize they are preaching. They are looking for us also to preach like that. So they pray always.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So it's a mutual business transaction. Now, whenever we say, so Prabhuji, so please pray for us. Actually, today our wedding anniversary, I am requesting, so please pray for us so that we will continue in this path of bhakti, our end of life. It's a praying, it's a seeking blessings, right? So you definitely pray, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. We are praying now also, Prabhuji. Wish you very, very happy Krishna consciousness anniversary, Prabhuji. And you give us your association to us more and more.
Your association. See, I cannot speak myself. Of course, I can speak myself. I can speak I can open a book and read. But with your, presence, that gives a lot of strength. We are all come together in the glorifying Supreme Lord by reading Prabhupada books and is it translation purports. Right? So how is this wonderful activity? Because of, we can see that because of Prabhupada mercy, we are able to read. We are able to understand. That is another way of understanding. Right? Somebody prayed, is there? Somebody prayed, yes, you come into contact with devotees, with Prabhupadas, and proper situated. You will be properly situated in Guru Parampara. Practice devotion service nicely, happily, be in Sadhu Sangha, devotee association, chanting, feasting, dancing, everything is there. Right?
Correct,
The Krishna consciousness is the festival. Krishna consciousness is a festival. It's simple. Krishna consciousness is a festival. Our mind, dragging here and there, but Krishna consciousness is always festival because we are glorifying Krishna, right? So celebration. So anyway, next week, not this Sunday. Next Sunday we have we are welcoming our deities, government deities. So we are putting program in Vaishnava Seva Kunj. We'll talk more about next week. So I need your help, some services. So
sure,
please
Prabhuji, sure.
help us. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, let us know. We are always ready. Kinjan Prabhu is always there, and I am also praying. Kinjan Prabhuji is engaged also in any service.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Vancha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnava Nandakoti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Reading Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Hari Prema Nande Hari
Hari Hari Bo.
Have a happy Krishna conscious day. Hari Bol. See you all on Monday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.